Hey guys, I wanted to show you real quick how to add and subtract unlike fractions. And I wanted to make sure I went over some common mistakes that I see students make. And then I wanted to show you the way that I want you to practice it in class for me. So many times, thinking of mistakes, the first thing that students see when they look at this is they think, oh, I can just add the numerator or the numerators, which is 1 and 1 there, together to get 2. And then I can take the denominators of 3 and 2 together to make 5. Don't ever do that because it will be wrong every single time. So you do not want to do that when you're adding and subtracting unlike fractions. You have to do something else, and that is you have to find a common denominator, which I'm going to show you right now. So the first thing I like for my students to do is to go ahead and line up the decimals or to line up the fractions vertically. So I'm going to write my problem vertically. Then the next thing that you guys would do is you're going to focus on the denominators. So I've got a denominator of 3 and a denominator of 2. After that, it's real simple. You're going to list the multiples of 3 and 2. You guys have actually been doing this since kindergarten, first grade. And once you see me do it, you're going to be like, oh, that's multiples. That's really simple. So if I'm doing 2s, I'd go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then 12. And then if I was doing 3s, I'd be doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And then after that, you need to find the lowest one that they actually have in common. So the lowest one that they have in common here is 6. Okay? After that, you're going to do something called set it up. And that's where you write a multiplication sign, dash equal sign dash, multiplication sign, dash equal sign dash. And you're going to write the 6 down because that's going to be your new common denominator. Now it's time to focus on those denominators again. So if I focus on the denominators again, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so what number times 3 is going to give me 6? Well, that'd be 2. So I'm going to put 2's down. Then I'm going to think to myself, okay, well then what number times, then I'm going to think what number times 2 is going to give me 6? And that would be 3. Okay, so I write 3's. After that, I just multiply across. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. And now I'm ready for the final step where I focus only on the numerators now that are on the far side here. So I focus just on here and here. And I'm going to go ahead and add 2 plus 3, which gives me 5. And then with adding and subtracting unlike fractions or any fractions, the denominator always stays the same. So it's going to stay the same as a 6. Okay? Not too difficult, but let's go ahead and try another problem. All right, so this time, that's too easy. Okay, so this time we're going to make it 1/4 plus 2/3. All right, so if you look at this problem here, I'm going to write it vertically. Okay? Because I got to do all that changing. Then, just like last time, I'm going to focus on my denominators. So I'm going to focus on 4, and I'm going to focus on 3. So then I'm going to list the multiples now, or count by that number. So 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. And then down here, I've got 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. All right. After that, I'm going to go ahead and circle the lowest one they have in common, which are the 12s there. Okay. And then it's time for me to go ahead and set it up. So multiplication sign, dash equal sign dash, multiplication sign, dash equal sign dash. Then I go ahead and write down my 12s. And then I'm going to focus again on my denominators. All right, so I'm going to think, what number times 4 would equal that 12 over there? Well, that would be 3. So I write down 3's. Then I'm also going to focus on the 3. And I think to myself, okay, what number times 3 would equal 12? Well, that would be 4. Okay, then I go ahead and multiply across. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 4 is 8. Now I'm going to go ahead and focus just on the numerators. Okay, so the 3 and the 8 here. And then I add them. So 3 plus 8 is 11. And the denominator always, and this is where I would have you guys in class say, always stays the same. So it would stay as a 12. All right? Now, let's see if it works the same way with subtraction. So again, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put 3/5 minus a half. Okay? And then I'm going to focus again on my denominators. All right, so I've got 5 and I've got 2, and then we're going to go ahead and count. So 5, 10, 15, 20, and then I'm going to count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Notice that my 10s are the lowest ones that I have in common, right? So now it's time for me to set it up. So multiplication sign, dash equals sign, dash. Multiplication sign, dash equals sign, dash. And then I'm going to write down my 10s. All right, now it's time for me to focus on those denominators again. Oops, didn't mean to erase that. Okay, so if I'm focusing on the 5 here, I would think what number times 5 is going to equal 10? Well, that'd be 2s. So I put 2 down. Then down here with the 2, okay, I'm thinking, well, what number times 2 would equal 10, which would be 5s? Then I multiply across. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. Now again, remember, this is subtraction, so when I focus on my numerators here of 6 and 5, I go ahead and subtract them. So 6 minus 5 is 1. And again, the denominator stays the same. All right, so I hope that helps you guys out when you're trying to add and subtract unlike fractions. Let me know if you need any more help in the comments.